It appears there was a plan to disrupt democracy. It appears there was a plan to attack the Capitol. Hi, I'm Scoot. Welcome to the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel, and I hope you have become a subscriber. If not, you can subscribe. Please subscribe, and then we'll give you we post something. Today there was an interesting development. The leader and founder of Oath Keepers. This is an extremist group. They're domestic terrorists. That's just the best way to describe them. Oath Keepers. Now, they're Trump supporters, but let's be careful here. All Trump supporters are not in Oath Keepers. In fact, they might have like about 35,000 members around the country. Now, it appears as if they went to the Capitol on January the 6th with a plan, planned out before, to stop the transfer of Trump to Biden. So they have been charged now. Stewart Rhodes, the leader and founder, and 10 others have been charged with seditious conspiracy and other crimes concerning the attack on the Capitol on January 6, 2021. This group, according to these charges, right after the election of 2020, they planned to physically storm the Capitol and physically stop the transfer of power. The good news is they failed. They didn't succeed. Oh, they disrupted things. They broke things. But the fact that there appears to have been a real plan means that, yeah, there were some people that just followed along. There were some sheep that were just following along with the crowd. But the leaders may have been like oath keepers, and maybe a few others like that had a specific plan to attack the Capitol. And they did. But again, the bastards failed. And now these people are charged with federal charges, as they should be. You know, if you're a Trump supporters need to admit that these people who did this, and Oath Keepers, they show up at Trump rallies. They are Trump supporters. And to a large degree, Donald Trump as president embraced them. He welcomed them. But not all Trump supporters are Oath Keepers. Not all Trump supporters are radical. But there are Trump supporters who are so damn afraid to even admit that some of these evil people are Trump supporters that I think they lose credibility in their argument. Admit the truth. Look, there are people within any group that suck. There are people who do social media and people who are on the radio, like I am, and they don't represent me at all. And I'm not afraid to call them out. So look, this was a big deal. Here's what I find interesting about this. I was on the air when this news broke today. And while doing my show on WWL in New Orleans, the news was breaking and CNN was covering it. Fox News was not. Fox News was covering the Supreme Court decision today that strikes down President Biden's mandate that employers of businesses over 100 employees cannot, well, the idea was businesses with employees over 100 people can mandate vaccines and testing for employees. The Supreme Court struck that down. That was a strike against the Biden administration. Fox News was all over that. Fox News didn't emphasize the other Supreme Court ruling that the Supreme Court said that healthcare workers can be forced to get vaccines. But what I find interesting, and again, this is just a great example to talk about how the media works. And, you know, in my career, I have studied communication theory. And I will tell you this, and this is a scary freaking thought. There are a hell of a lot of people. In fact, the overwhelming majority of people who do what I do, the overwhelming majority of people on TV and on radio and in the media, they don't know shit about communication theory. They don't know shit about what controls, what governs the powerful industry that they're part of. So I tried to pay attention to that over the years. And I've always argued that news is entertainment. It doesn't always mean it's light and fluffy, but look, a drama is entertainment. I mean, a movie about a murder is entertainment, especially the cable news channels. The goal is to get the biggest possible audience to generate the largest amount of revenue possible. That's entertainment. It's going to be governed by anything that governs other forms of entertainment. And so Fox News and CNN, MSNBC too, they all do it, but this is really kind of a microcosm of the media today. Let's take CNN and Fox News. So today, Fox News is covering, in fact, Sean Hannity on his radio show, somebody called my show and told me that Sean Hannity said that this is the worst day in the Biden presidency, or something to that effect, because it strikes down, because the Supreme Court struck down the mandate for employers to make employees get vaccines and get tested. This is by far not the worst day in the Biden administration. I mean, there have been some worse days than this, and there will be more bad days to come, I'm sure. But again, it's all about feeding the audience. Fox News was feeding their audience by not covering the arrest of the leader of Oath Keepers, because Fox News admits and knows that Oath Keepers are Trump supporters. And they didn't want to feed that to their audience. I'm not saying it did not end up on the news, but they weren't covering it like CNN. CNN was covering it, but CNN was not covering the negative news about Biden and the mandate to require employers to have their employees vaxxed, a mandate for vaccinating employees and testing employees. So, you know, if you consume these cable news channels, that's okay. Just don't do it like naively. Don't fail to understand that they are not giving you the news that you necessarily need. They're not giving you objective news. They're giving you the news that they think you want. And both sides are equally guilty of this. And today was the perfect example of that. And while CNN was covering the Oath Keepers arrest, Fox News was ignoring it, and Fox News was covering the negative news about the Biden administration. So if you sit there and only watch Fox News, you are being brainwashed. If you watch only CNN, you're being brainwashed. It's really important to kind of go back and forth and you know, find your own way of deciphering the truth. But people who sit mindless in front of CNN or mindless in front of Fox News, man, you're being brainwashed. And yet the scary thing is so many people who do that think they are getting the truth. You're not getting the truth. You're getting a manipulation by these networks to feed you what they think you want. Thank you for joining me here on the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. Join me on my radio show on WWL in New Orleans. If you're in the New Orleans area or the Gulf South, it's 870 AM, 105.3 FM. You can also go to our website, wwl.com, and stream the show live. I'm on 1 to 4 Central Time, Monday through Friday in the afternoon. Tomorrow's going to be free for all Friday. And you can also download an app and pick up the show wherever you've got your phone. The app is Odyssey, A-U-D-A-C-Y, A-U-D-A-C-Y. And type in WWL and you've got the show wherever you have your phone. Thank you for joining me here, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens here because honestly, there appears to have been a plan in place, a calculated plan to attack the Capitol and stop the process of democracy. And when you've got terrorists, I don't give a damn if they're from the Middle East or Europe or Russia or America. If you've got terrorists attacking our country, they need to be stopped. And these are people who wave the American flag and pretend to be patriots. There's not a damn thing patriotic about these friggin' oath keepers and people like that. And it's okay to call them out. In fact, it's important to call them out, to distinguish them from the rest.